Sorry. Hi guys, welcome to Investing with JYK, and it's the first time I try to record with my Windows desk laptop. Sorry. Don't really have a particular topic today, other than that I expect the whole situation to go on for longer. Uh, let's start with air traffic. So I'll post the link. For some reason, I don't know. I don't know how to share my screen with this thing. Maybe I can. Huh? No, I can't. Um, that into the chat. Hi, Josie. I'm alive. So this is the chat. Sorry, the link that I posted on chat is from the Bureau of Transportation Statistics in US. It talks about the air travel since September 11th. I think that has some uh, it has some usefulness to us in analyzing the or predicting really the degree of impact um, on the airline industry, for example. So, from what I see, is airline traffic goes down by about 33% after September 11th, and then it returns in 3 years, right? So mark that number. I don't have any numbers on how much air traffic has dropped in US now just yet, but I expect it to be quite a bit higher. The reason is in China, up until now, this is the newest number is from the 3rd of April. Air traffic is down 70%. And let me try to get that link over. I'll post that in the chat. Just give me a sec. So just give me a sec. I'll put that in chat. Copy link address. And then here we go. So see if that link works. Parameter error. That is very useless. Whoops. I'll try to remove that and then post a new link, which should then work. Redirecting. Yes, okay. So if you just look at the bullet points, the fourth bullet point is the air traffic number. And it was up 20% from yesterday. And there's a reason, because there is a long holiday here in China. So even with a long holiday, with the day over day value increasing over 20%, we're still down 70%. And 70% year over year. And I think these are just direct year over year numbers. And in China, that holiday is not on the same day every year on the Gregorian calendar. It is on the same day, not even on the same day. It's like around the same day on the lunar calendar. So yeah, even with that boost, we're down 70%. When I checked it a few days ago, it was down 75%. So it is reasonable to expect U.S. air traffic to be down around 75% as well, and this is 2 months into well past 2 months into the beginning of the lockdown in Wuhan. So make your own projections. I think, yeah, the whole thing's just going to last much longer. In terms of employment, I see much worse a lot of worse things happening here in China. Other than the factory shutdowns that I talked about a few days ago, Country Garden, which is a real estate developer, have sent out some uh, announcement that to their employees that they would consolidate regional offices. Essentially, they're firing. And in US, just in my wife's company that she knows of, they fired. They either fired or I think they just fired them. It was two designers, one PM, one engineer, and maybe another designer. I don't recall exactly, but quite a few people got fired. So yeah, this is things are getting real. So personally, in China, I'm about 40% invested. I'm thinking I may be a little bit too invested than I would like, given the situation. China is going to get dragged down as the demand from the rest of the world craters. So yeah. Okay, on to the comments we've got. How is EV market for China? EV market is people generally don't like EVs here. So yeah, they can extend they can have subsidies all they want. As soon as they remove the subsidies, people won't buy an EV because the first group that bought EV a few years ago are now facing uh, reality. Basically, the EVs that they bought is not worth much after 3 4 years. So that, and then also where are they going to charge their car? Because most people in China don't own a house. You don't have a garage of your own. If you were to install any charging ports, you would have to coordinate with the property management firm that your your apartment is part of, and then it's not always a smooth process. So I think EV has their uses in China, but for just an average person or even like a DD slash Uber driver, they value reliability and convenience and uptime a lot more than the fuel costs. And especially when, I mean, oh, there's another quirk in China. So remember SHI, the company that I talked about that does petrochemical stuff in China, in Shanghai. It's the so that company sells fuel in China, and as I said, that in China the fuel cost is set by the government, but they do adjust it from time to time according to market price. And when oil goes really cheap, um, it is actually potentially good for them since there's a lag. But there's more than just a lag. So when oil goes below $40 a barrel, the government's suggested retail price, not suggested, the enforced retail price no longer goes down. So that's the bottom for people that sell finished products like gasoline or diesel. And yeah, it's something that interesting that I thought I would share. What do you think of BYD and Mattel? I'm not too familiar with Mattel. For BYD, I don't like the company. They chase things. They just chase all the fads, and I generally don't like these companies. Do you think non-US markets, namely Russia and China, will recover earlier or later than US markets? I think Russia don't even have the worst coming for them yet. Um, I'm fairly heavily invested in Russia, but I think Russia haven't even felt the blunt of the blow yet. So they are Russia has yet to fall. China, I don't know. There's definitely going to be decoupling going on, and it's not going to be good for anyone really. Perhaps you difficult very for your project missing that you view and thoughts on lock-in. Well, don't buy lock-in because they have just 1B of cash, and you pay 7B for the equity, which is probably going to go to zero after they get sued. That's a simple answer. Shenzhen is full EV. Was a laboratory for the rest. Shenzhen is not full EV. I assume it probably has a lot of EVs because that's the government probably has a lot of like supportive programs for BYD. How much do you think the home prices will drop in recession, possible depression? I don't know. But if a depression does come, it's not going to be just a year or two. It's going to be measured in maybe 5 years. Right? And one should have enough cash on hand and liquid assets. So, do you think Slack a good company given the COVID situation? And is Chinese stuff to short? I don't have anything to short at the moment in China. All the shit companies in China are already down. Um, the one that I would worry a little bit about is PDD. Um, they basically just burn cash to grab market share and drive up gross market value, but not entirely sure what their gig is. But I'm not the target user, so I used to be short them, but then I think I lost like 20 or 30%, and I was like, I don't understand this company enough, so I got out of it. Uh, no idea on zinc. My long currently 40% or less, depending on the country. I have quite a few accounts, which makes the calculation a bit hard, but the ones that are open in China are 40% or less, and in US, because I do have my puts in there as well, um, I would say probably around 40% as well. I'm definitely less than 50% invested. I'm like one thing I've been thinking quite a bit is adding more gold. I have gold, I have physical gold even, and then I have some gold equities, mainly just Sprott Inc. and Dynacore Gold. Sprott Inc. is a gold asset manager, and my thinking was that they had an okay balance sheet. They pay dividends, so it's not too bad. And then if people get scared, they'll buy more gold, and then they will drive up AUM. So it's not too bad. And they don't sell too expensively either. And as an asset manager, they don't need particularly people on site, so not going to be too badly affected by this virus. Dynacore obviously it's not really a miner, so it's not too leveraged to the gold price, and also they have a little bunch of cash. Um, they run a what do you call that thing? They run a mill basically for small miners that can't afford a mill, and being physical, they get impacted by the virus, so they're now not in production. But like a third or something of their market cap is in cash. So, and then I'm not sure if I've been thinking about buying more like ETF gold, like paper gold, but yeah, not haven't made up my mind yet. And then I'm also thinking about basically front running some countries in their infection curve, especially countries with less centralized control where they cannot enforce um, lockdowns. And then if you don't enforce lockdowns, then this thing's will drag on for longer. People will just not consume for longer, and just some interesting thing. For example, my wife and I haven't traveled for the entirety of the year, other than this. Just we did a Japan trip right before Chinese holiday, the Chinese New Year. So that's like 23rd of April, we had plans to go to Japan again, and then we had plans for me to visit her. None of that can be, and I might not be able to see her for the next half a year. I don't think that's overly pessimistic. Pessimistic. Yeah, that's a lot of demand that's now gone. Baba or JD? No idea. Don't they're pretty complex beasts. I haven't looked at them. The great companies with strong balance sheet are performing in the bubble relative to the piling. Well, I still think Facebook and Google are good companies, and they will get hammered. I haven't added any to them yet, but they will get hammered in this because they basically run on ads, and ad spending will drop when other companies are in cash conservation mode. And but this is the time to buy them. Like when their earnings are shit, this is the time to buy them because they have no debt, they can't go bankrupt, they will earn less money, but overall ads is going digital, and these are the biggest beneficiaries. I don't know about Apple. I like Facebook quite a bit. Is China buying gold? I don't know. I don't know. It probably is from what I heard. Spend gold in the near term as people government sells to cash but raises quickly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about gold in terms of inflation expectations, right? So if 2008 to 2011 is anything to go by, then we're looking at a doubling gold price easily. But it's keeping the sizing correct. That's the thing that I still don't have a handle on. Things recession or depression? I don't know. India. Okay, so let me show you something in India. I actually let me see if I can actually share this without with incognito. See if that works. Okay, so India. Mhm. I definitely do follow Sven. This is what's going on in India. Some news came out. Well, take a guess on the infection rate. I mean, that's all you need to know. Uh, Russia depression or recession? I don't know. Not quite sure. I wouldn't rule out depression. Um, I wouldn't even rule out like a prolonged depression that lasted half a decade rather than half a year. So yeah. All right. So that's all I have for today. And thank you guys for tuning in. Bye.